Now we know we can toggle between the different views using shortcut keys, or navigating down to the bottom of the comp window in order to change them, or even using our escape key to bounce back and forth between the previous and current view. But there are times when you're going to want to see multiple views in one composition panel in order to work on them simultaneously. At the bottom of the comp window, next to the pull-down for custom views, we can see the number of views that we want to have open inside our composition panel. By clicking here, we can see that there are multiple choices in order to have either 2 views or 4 views inside the composition panel. By selecting 2 views horizontal, we'll see that the 2 views are placed next to each other. We can also choose a number of layouts for 4 views by either positioning a priority for views on the left, right, top, or bottom, but more often you'll use the 4 views option. Here inside 4 views, After Effects is going to allow us to look at 4 views simultaneously. If I click on any one view, we can see which of these 4 is selected by the small yellow triangles at the outside of the view. Once it's selected, we can change the camera we're looking through by changing it here. This will only change the camera for that particular view. By looking at the lower right-hand view now, it should be obvious that by moving the virtual camera in any one view is not going to change the view of the other panels. Additionally, we can use the hand tool on any single view in order to move it around in its own window. By holding down the spacebar, you can click and drag inside the window to move that framing around. You can do that with the other views as well without affecting the move changes you've made to the other panels. Similarly, we can use the scroll bar or the comma and the period key to zoom in and out of the individual views in our 4-view panel. So simply clicking and scrolling up is going to allow us to zoom into the window, and zooming down will allow us to zoom back out. Now we have the ability to look at 4 views here, but there are other times when you may want to have other views open, and rather than jumping back and forth between the camera views here, we may want to create a completely new composition panel. We can achieve this several different ways. One obvious way is to go up to the View pull-down menu, then select New Viewer. If we click off of that, we can see another way, which is to click on the pull-down for this composition panel. At the top of this pull-down, we can see there's an option for New Comp Viewer. I'll click off of that and instead simply use the shortcut key Alt-Shift and N. So Alt-Shift-N makes a new composition panel with the same view that we have set up in the previous view. If you're using a Mac, you'll want to use Option-Shift-N. Here I can change the view layout from 4 views back down to 1 view. Now when I select this, it won't matter which view I have selected. After Effects is going to choose the view in my upper right-hand corner as the one view that we'll look at. At the top of this comp panel, in the tab, you can see a small icon indicating that this view is locked. This means that no matter what composition we choose in the timeline, this tab will be looking at composition 3 in this single view using the custom camera until we change it. If we turn off this link by simply clicking on the icon here, this view will update with any new composition we choose in the timeline. Now we have a large view to look at, and if we click over on the previous tab, we can see the layout for our 4 views. So we know that Alt-Shift-N on a PC will create a new view. Option-Shift-N on a Mac will do the same. If we use Alt-Shift, then use the period or the comma key, this will navigate between the tabs at the top of the comp window. Alt-Shift-Period will move us forward through the tabs, while Alt-Shift-Comma is going to move us backward through the tabs. Remember, on a Mac, you're going to want to use Option-Shift, then the period or the comma. If we navigate back to our 4-view layout, I can change the way I look at each one of these cameras even more. Again, using the Alt key or the Option key, together with the 1, 2, 3, or 4, will allow me to take a look at the channels for the layers through each one of these cameras. So using Alt-1 or Option-1 on a Mac, I can look at the red channel. Using Alt-2, I can look at the green channel. Alt-3 will allow me to look at the blue channel, and Alt-4 will allow me to look at the entire alpha channel. Remember, on a Mac, you'll need to use the Option key instead. When I'm done isolating the channel, I can use the modifier key, then the number again, to jump back to the RGB view. So here I used Alt-4 in order to see the alpha channel, so Alt-4 again will bring me back to my RGB view. On a Mac, you'll use Option 4. I can look at different channels for different views individually. Here with this view selected, if I use Alt-1, I'll look at the red channel. Then in my left camera, I can select it by clicking on that view and using Alt-2 to look at the green channel. At the bottom of the entire composition window, I can look at one more thing. Underneath the icon to reveal grids, I can also reveal a 3D reference axis. Enabling this works on the camera that I have selected. This will show me the world coordinates with an X, Y, and Z icon. If I click here up in the custom view window, then turn on the axes for this window, I can see very clearly where the X, Y, and Z headings lie for the entire environment.